All right, we are live. We're gonna do a quick stream. Had to redo it because the one earlier was the low-key shit show with Shane. God bless his heart. Love you, if I was Shane. Always will. But yeah, let's. What do I want to do here? Sorry. And of course now it's gonna do this. But let's see. Share screen. Boom, 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 boom. All right, quick stream. Quick stream. Quick fun stream. Well, not fun, but all right. Let's get into it. Shout out to one chat, Montezuma. Yo, if you were here earlier, Montezuma, we're redoing it the same one we just did. But just, I wanted to be quick and succinct, and the last one kind of rambled on in weird ways. All right. T James is here. Yo, what up? Sup, bro? Packed to Granville. All right. If you were here earlier, it's going to be a rehash, but it'll be quick. So one of the big stories from the Clinton deposition was that he was asked about his staffer who signed Jeffrey Epstein into the White House 17 times, who died mysteriously of suicide by hanging themselves and shooting themselves with a shotgun. So let's go ahead and just watch that real quick.
Are you aware that Mr. Middleton committed suicide
Yes, I am.
in 2022? He was found dead at Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from a tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung.
Shot and hung. Very odd, very sketch, very suspicious. I think, Bill's just getting older, so people are saying, oh, he's shaky. Well, he is shaky, but maybe that's just him getting older. Maybe that's him, I don't know. People are saying maybe he's thinking about Hillary.
Do you have any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No.
Okay. Do you have any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
But the president has already testified to the fact that he was unaware that.
This girl's hilarious. We're going to cover her next, the lawyer. How could you even ask that? Well, I mean, the dude was hanged and shot, and he's the same guy who signed Jeffrey Epstein into the White House 17 times. Would love to talk to him. Too bad he's dead under really weird and mysterious circumstances.
Mr. Epstein was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
I'm asking when you heard about the death, knowing...
People said that's a sign of guilt, the fact that he took off his glasses. I don't know. We're all body language experts now. I don't know.
About the things that have been, at this point, it's all over the news, seeing that he has committed suicide. Have you ever had any conversations with people about whether or not that there's any relationship between the two?
Oh, no. No one's ever suggested it to me.
Okay. Thank you. I yield back.
Next up, Mr.
It's really sad.
It is.
McGuire from Virginia.
He represents UVA.
It's really sad. What do you guys think of that reaction? Sheesh. T. James says, he got the old shakes or the scared shakes? I don't know. We're going to watch this now. A little edit of Whitney Webb talking about this guy, Mark Middleton. So Mark Middleton is the one who, again, hanged himself and shot himself. And he is the guy who signed Epstein into the office, White House, at least 17 times. Let's go here.
The tune of $850,000. Claims to know nothing.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself with a shotgun. Read one story to you and then you take it from there. Bill Clinton's aide linked to Jeffrey Epstein killed himself with a shotgun despite no gun. I mean, I got to tell you, I've spent a lot of time, I've seen Copperfield, what's his name? David Copperfield and Blaine. Some magicians, these guys. They're great.
Isn't David Copperfield in the files? Funny enough.
But the ability for the Clintons to do magic like this, I don't think they give him enough credit for how great they are in doing magic, right? Mark Middleton, a former advisor to President Clinton, was found dead in May 2022 in Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. He was discovered hanging from a tree with a gunshot wound in his chest, despite no evidence of the weapon that killed him. Middleton had ties to convicted child trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, repeatedly signing him into the White House during his tenure as Clinton's special advisor. The investigation into Middleton's death by Perry County Sheriff's Office raises more questions than answers. Middleton's body and car were found at Heifer's Ranch, which is owned by non-government organization allegedly connected to the Gates Foundation and Clinton Foundation. The release of the investigation report.
Odd. Found out a Gates. These people are so shady.
Was delayed due to Middleton's family's concerns about the publication of harmful, substantiated and hateful articles on the internet.
That reminds me of the Seth Rich thing. Like, it's a hate crime to think that it's sketch that this dude who signed Jeffrey Epstein into the Clinton White House 17 times killed himself by shooting himself and hanging himself. If you think anything other than he killed himself, you are a hate crimer.
Judge allowed the dissemination of certain details, but prohibited the release of images. Middleton had a controversial history, including being implicated in exploiting his access to impress business clients while working at the White House in the 90s. So how do you do that? I mean, how do you kill yourself with a shotgun and hang yourself at the same time?
Mark Middleton, again, this is another reason why I don't think mainstream media lets anyone talk about the Clinton-Epstein relationship before the year 2000 or until Clinton left office. Mark Middleton was a central figure in some very significant Clinton-era scandals. It was not just him abusing his access to the White House after he left. I'll give you an example. Congress was investigating Mark Middleton at the time 9/11 happened. And of course, 9/11 happens, they move on to other stuff, obviously. But before then, the Bush administration, George W. Bush's first time invoking executive privilege was to block the release of documents to Congress about 3 different things. One of those was Mark Middleton. Why is Bush stepping in to protect a Clinton aide? That should tell you that there's something bigger there with Mark Middleton. And then if you look at when Mark Middleton was called to testify as part of these investigations, he pleaded the fifth 28 times, including to the question, are you a foreign agent?
Wow.
So there's obviously a deeper story here. The question is, why wasn't Mark Middleton, suicided, whatever you want to call it, back then? Why did it happen so recently? I would argue it's because in 2019, when the Epstein case broke, it was alleged by the Daily Beast that Epstein had only had 5 meetings with Mark Middleton. And then you find out from Daily Mail gets White House visitor logs a couple of months, maybe like 4 months before Mark Middleton's found dead. It was around 15.
4 months after they go from... Okay, so right after they discovered that he actually had been lying and that this guy had actually brought Jeffrey Epstein into the White House way more than the stated 4 times, he's found dead. And we don't think it's connected, and it's actually a hate crime to look into it. Let's watch some Joe Rogan coverage. Bro Rogan, what's Bro Rogan got to say about it?
From his house.
Yeah.
That was his idea. He hung himself by an extension cord and shot himself in the chest with a shotgun 30 miles from his house.
Yeah.
That was his idea.
Yeah.
He didn't like the life he lived. Yeah. He was involved in Clinton and got Epstein into the White House 7 times, but whatever.
Yeah.
Now we're at
People
17.
get whacked.
You hear about that guy?
People get put out of pasture.
Do you know about that guy?
No.
This guy was one of the people that worked. He was involved in getting Epstein into the White House on multiple occasions. Hung himself on a ranch.
Really?
30 miles from his home with an extension cord.
Oh,
and
they killed him.
Shot himself in the chest.
Very sketch. Very suspicious. Very bad.
With a shotgun.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, wow.
Family of Bill Clinton advisor who admitted Jeffrey Epstein into the White House 7 times has blocked release of files detailing the death scene after he was found hanging from a tree with a shotgun blast at a ranch 30 miles from his home. Top Clinton advisor Mark Middleton died by suicide at the age of 59. They should put suicide in quotes. At the age of 59 on May 7th, the Perry County Sheriff's Office in Arkansas confirmed Middleton was President Bill Clinton's special advisor. Who admitted Jeffrey Epstein into the White House 7 of the at least 17 times the pedophile visited. The married father of 2 who lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, shot himself at Heifer Ranch in Perryville, 30 miles away from his home. DailyMail.com can now reveal Middleton's father, Larry, and his widow, Rhea, are fighting to keep the photos and other illustrative content of his death sealed.
Totally normal, totally not sketch. Again, it's just giving me Seth Rich all over again. It's a hate crime if you think it's a conspiracy, even though it's like everything points to being a conspiracy.
Why?
The 2 filed for it because they want to stay alive.
Yeah, I
the
get
2
it.
filed.
Which honestly reminds me of the Seth Rich thing too. And honestly, probably the Amy Eskridge thing. Like, I don't hate the Seth Rich parents or even Amy Eskridge's parents or this person's parents because, like, if your kid died in a super shady sketch way, they're probably able to kill you too. So you're probably going to do whatever to make sure that doesn't continue happening. Sad but true.
For an injunction arguing that blocking the release of the footage would halt a proliferation of unsubstantiated conspiracy theories. Huh.
Again, so they don't want to release information about the crime scene because it would fuel conspiracy theories. Doesn't that just mean the conspiracy theories are true? Isn't that just another way of saying the conspiracy theories around this dude's death are true? Kind of odd. Kind of weird.
Unsubstantiated. Put that in quotes as well.
Arguing that blocking the release of the footage would halt blocking the footage would halt a proliferation of unsubstantiated conspiracy theories. That's an interesting way of. That's like the Streisand effect, though, don't you think?
Yeah, that's the opposite of what would be
really weird. So yeah, let's get back to the clip again of Rep. Eric Burrows in front of the show. I'm gonna try and get him on. I think it's possible. I think we can get him on. But let's watch it again. He asked Clinton point blank. I'd be scared if I was Burrows.
Are you aware that Mr. Middleton committed suicide?
Yes, I am.
In 2022. He was found dead at Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from.
Look at this. We're gonna get into the next slide about her, but like the fact that she's giving him this side eye look, and it's like, yeah, this is sketch, bro. He's died with 2 suicide. Like, and she's like, how dare you think to even ask this question? Look at her face.
A tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung. Do you have any?
Are you seriously asking me about that? Are you seriously in the Epstein deposition? Are you really asking my client about the dude who signed in Epstein 17 times, who died in a super sketch way? Are you really asking that? How dare you, sir? How dare you ask that? No, bitch. We're asking it.
Any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No.
Look at her. She's like,
Do you have
appalled.
any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
But the president has
Of the
already
suicide?
testified to the fact that he.
Why do you got to butt in there, bitch? Why can't the president answer, hey, the dude who let in Jeffrey Epstein died under mysterious circumstances 4 months after we learned that he actually let him in more than was previously reported 17 times? Why can't we let the president answer that? Wonder.
He was unaware that Mr. Epstein was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
I'm asking when you heard about
Look, he takes off the glasses. Look at his eyes, too. He's like got the 1,000-yard stare right here. He's thinking about it.
that this was in
His eyes.
relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein,
Look, it
given
looks
the
away.
date?
Looks away
The
again.
president has
Of the
already
suicide?
testified
She
to the
butts
fact
in.
that he
Yeah, he's
was
got the
unaware that
1,000-yard
Mr. Epstein
stare.
was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
Takes off the
I'm
glasses.
asking when you heard about the death, knowing about the things that have been, at this point, it's all over the news, seeing that he has committed suicide. Have you ever had any conversations with people about whether or not that there's any relationship between the two?
Oh, no. No one's ever suggested it to me.
Okay. Thank you. I yield back.
This bitch. So on the topic of this bitch, and this is gonna be a real short stream.
Are you aware that Mr.
There she is again. So Clinton's lawyer, who interfered with the questioning about the staffer who let Epstein into the White House 17 times, who killed himself by hanging himself and shooting himself in the stomach, and we're gonna watch next. She also kind of interfered when Clinton was asked about if he thinks Epstein really killed himself. This very lawyer is actually in the files. This is Cheryl Mills. Here's one of them. Only you can take a picture that makes me look so good. Thank you. Love you, XO. So we're just going to watch that clip again that we just watched.
Mr. Middleton committed suicide
Yes, I
in
am.
2022. He was found dead.
So again, they're talking about the staffer that let in Epstein into the White House 17 times. He was found dead 4 months after it was actually... So initially they reported, this coming from Whitney Webb, that it was 4 times he was let in. Then it was leaked to some publication that actually he was let in 17 times. And it was only months after that he was found dead, as Rep. Burleson's about to describe, in 2022.
Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from a tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung.
Again, like I said, look at her face. Like, she's like, how dare you ask this? It's like, no, bitch, he's the one who let the dude into the White House. He died under mysterious circumstances after it was revealed that he was lying about how many times he let him into the White House. And she's like, are you really asking this right now? Are you really doing it? And mind you, she's literally in the files. Only you can take a picture that makes me look this good, Cheryl. This bitch.
Well, do you have any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
But the president has
Of the
already
suicide?
testified.
Well, again, like I said there too, she butts in right there. Why can't the president answer that, Cheryl Mills? Why are we not allowed to ask him? Why do you got to like reset the tempo of the energy? Look at his eyes. Like I said already too, his eyes are like contemplating. He's looking guilty as hell. He's looking like super sketch. And here she is. I'm gonna cut the flow of this conversation and make sure that he knows not to answer that. And Eric in the chat brings up, wasn't she his chief of staff during the term as well? She was, apparently. Let's read this. 29th Council of the United States Department. Cheryl Denise Mills, born 1965, is an American lawyer and corporate executive. She first came into public prominence while serving as a deputy White House counsel for President Bill Clinton, whom she defended during his 1999 impeachment trial. Oh, so she's an OG. She's from the Monica Lewinsky days. She's an OG. Okay. She worked for New York University as senior vice president, served as a senior advisor and counselor for Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign. So she's in the mix. And is considered a member of Hillary Clinton's group of core advisors, self-designated as Hillary Land. She served as counselor and chief of staff to Hillary Clinton during her whole tenure as Secretary of State. On September 3rd, 2015, she testified before the House Select Committee on Benghazi regarding her and former Secretary Clinton's actions and role during the 2012 Benghazi attack. So she's all in the mix for that, and actually that might be a good segue for this. Because she was all in the mix for this moment in time. Remember this? She was all in the mix. She was advising him during this.
His presidency.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false.
So this is in 1998 when, he had sex with Monica Lewinsky in the White House. So isn't it interesting that the same lawyer who was telling him to lie and say, hey, tell the public you didn't have sex, is also advising him now today. And he's saying, well, I had nothing to do. I don't know he killed himself. I don't know that my staffer killed himself. I don't know if Epstein killed himself. And let's not forget that Bill Clinton had to recant it.
Good evening. This afternoon in this room, from this chair, I testified before the Office of Independent Counsel and the grand jury. I answered their questions truthfully, including questions about my private life, questions no American citizen would ever want to answer. Still, I must take complete responsibility for all my actions, both public and private. And that is why I'm speaking to you tonight. As you know, in a deposition
I did get a blowjob in the Oval Office.
January, I was asked questions about my relationship with Monica Lewinsky. While my answers were legally accurate, I did not volunteer information. Indeed,
again, I'm pretty sure blowjobs count as sex, Bill. Right? Is that actually the case? Like, don't blowjobs legally classify as sex? I'm pretty sure they do.
indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss
Didn't he like bust a nut on her dress or some shit like that too? I'm pretty sure that also counts as sex.
That was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part for which I am solely and completely responsible. But I told the grand jury today, and I say to you now.
So there you go. And who was it? T. James said, lying then, lying now. So again, it's the same counsel who had him lying then is having him lie now, butt in, and she's literally in the Epstein files. You cannot make this shit up. Let's do one more real quick.
Personally and directly.
Here, look at how she butts in again when he's asked about whether or not Epstein killed himself. And here is from the files from Ghislaine Maxwell to Cheryl Mills. Is today really your birthday? It's the birthday of one of my greatest friends. It would not at all be surprising that you shared it. So happy birthday, darling. I'll have to do a bit of thinking. Hate you for being in Palm Beach. If it weren't your birthday, I'll call you. If it weren't your birthday, I'll call you what you really are for being there. So she's in the file. She's talking to Ghislaine. And here we go. Look at how she butts in again.
Do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Are you asking him to speculate on how Mr. Epstein died?
I'm asking what the president thinks of.
So you're asking his opinion?
Mr. President, was your friend Jeffrey Epstein suicidal?
Are you classifying him as a friend who he has testified that he was friendly?
He has called him a friend in a letter.
He said he was friendly, but not. You've asked for his testimony.
Mr. President, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal?
Do you know?
Was he ever
She's asking for the
suicidal?
best of your under.
I don't know what's up with this
I
clip.
don't know. I only know what the medical finding was.
There you go.
I think maybe
That's it.
he finally got caught. And I don't know. I've accepted it.
Clip's a little glitched out. Let's watch the one on YouTube. I mean, on X.
I'd like to ask you personally and directly, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Are you asking him to speculate on how Mr. Epstein died?
I'm asking what the president thinks of.
So you're asking his opinion?
Mr. President, was your friend Jeffrey Epstein
Are you
suicidal?
classifying him as a friend who he has testified that he was
has called
friendly?
him a friend.
When she's in the files, Eric says she is a good attorney. This is her job. Can't fault her for that. Which I guess is true, but it's like, can we get an attorney that's not in the files talking to Ghislaine? Like, can we get an attorney that didn't also have you do a dog and pony show to lie to the country? What is that? Is that 20 years ago or 30 years ago? That's 30 years ago now. Holy shit. 30 years ago when you said you didn't have sex with Monica Lewinsky and she was advising you then, only for you to later be like, well, actually I did. Kind of makes you think that you know about all this shit, dude. Damn it, Bill.
In a letter.
He said he was friendly, but not. You've asked for his testimony.
Mr. President, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal?
Do you know?
Was he ever
She's asking for the
suicidal?
best of your
I
understanding.
don't know. I only know what the medical finding was. I think maybe
That's it.
he finally got caught. And I don't know. I've accepted it in my own mind. I don't know what happened.
Mr. President, what did you
Kind of weird. He kind of doesn't overtly say that. He kind of like open up to interpretation there too.
accept, that he killed himself or that he did not?
But he did. But I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Neither
Mr.
do you.
President.
We don't know.
Finally got caught.
I'd like to ask you,
Yeah, so there you go. So there's that. I think just to close it out, I did make a meme. Let's watch my meme I made. Fuck it. Because you know how he was like cheesing so hard? Look at this. Remember this moment? Let me see that. I gotta see. Let me see it.
Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour. So I just want to ask you some questions related to the crimes committed by Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell.
In the chat, Brad says, "Can't forget Netanyahu let Clinton know he had the Lewinsky tapes, and he said he'd destroy them because they were allies." Yep. I guess we'll just watch this. Fuck it. Netanyahu said to have offered Lewinsky tapes for Pollard, new critical book, and the Clinton family claims that Israel tapped the White House phones, blackmailed the president with recordings of an intern. Interesting. But yeah, so let's go ahead and watch the meme now I made to commemorate this moment of, you know, Bill being super stoked to relive memory lane in the style of Up. Where are we at here? I think we're gonna close it out, guys. Thank you for being here. Shout out UFO Shane. Yeah, I mean, I got a stream tomorrow about if this whole war is a holy war. Eric says this all fits. See, it ain't so bad. All right, guys, I'll catch you in a space or something. Bye.